I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush. Cause I'm top shelf, I ain't got wealth. But I'm on my grind like park rails. I'd sell the shoes right off my 2 feet. Then add one, that's a yard sale. Got dumb bars that be smarter than Harvard, Yale. Take your pictures elsewhere. You wanna be TMZ, I wanna be VIP. Quit pandering, I'm not answering. Cause I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. All of that bark and no bite, that's alright. Not everyone can be the big dog. Take a walk, kick rocks. Can't keep me out cause I pick locks. They hearing me knocking, I'll never be stopping. I keep this shit popping like lip gloss.
What is up, everybody? And it's good to be alive. Sports, all kinds of sports are going on. Obviously, you know, my Dallas Stars are out, so I'm not completely depressed because I just kind of got into hockey, so how can you be depressed right off the rip? But lots and lots of sports going on. What's up, Logan? How you doing, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, Jay? Happy Tuesday to everyone watching out there. Hey, also new intro we debuted tonight. That was sick. And hey, nice. I'm ready to talk some sports, man. We got some good topics tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Brand new intro, and I hope everybody likes it, man. I know a lot of work was put into that behind the scenes, and I appreciate the guys that put that intro together for us. It is amazing. What is up, Joshua Bailey? God, it seems like it's been eons since I've seen you in the comments, man, but it's good to see you, my brother. And, of course, our boy Damien, who always never lets us down, always up in the comments, man. What is up, my brother?
Damien, a loyal viewer of the show for a very long
listen.
time. We know we give him a lot of crap on the show, but we
we do, man. But we love Damien, man, and I think Damien understands that because Damien has a pretty good sense of humor. Hey, look, here's the deal, Logan. I don't like to start off shows on a somber note or even on a crazy note or a dramatic note or anything of that nature, but the world is kind of crazy right now. The world is really just crazy to me. It really honestly is, you know, and I'd be remiss if I wasn't talking about some of the things that brought him up to put him into light, you know, and things of that nature, because obviously our hearts go out to Buffalo and the supermarket and the men and women that were gunned down there. You know, it hurts me and it pains me to see this. I don't know if the gunman was going through mental health issues. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we do want to keep that in the back, or at least in the forefront of our minds. But Logan, it pains me, man, to see what's going on in Buffalo. It's not even just Buffalo. They did. There was a shooting not that long ago in Houston as well as the shootings outside of Milwaukee, just right after the Milwaukee Bucks playoff game.
Yeah, and in fact, they canceled the watch party for Game 7 in Milwaukee. I remember seeing because of that. The shooting was so close, and it was very recent. And, you know, Jay, like you said, unfortunately, we talk about this way, way too much than we ever should. It's pretty much a monthly topic at this point, which is sad to say. But, you know, I mean, at what point does something happen? Does something change? Because it's too much, man. It's way too much.
Yeah. And a lot of it just, I don't know the answer. I don't even know the solution. I wish I did know the solution. You know, I mean, the easy solution would just be, okay, we ban all guns, but we know that you can ban guns and guns are still going to get here. So I don't think that's even the solution, you know, even at that point. I like the fact that President Biden came on quickly and he addressed it. Hopefully, you know, Congress can figure something out. I just don't really know what the true solution is, you know, but that's not even the only, you know, crazy thing that's happened. You know, obviously, you know, you got Rondo out there threatening his family and his kid with a gun over laundry. Logan, over laundry. I don't know what that. I don't even get that. And at first I think, well, maybe he just flipped his script. Maybe he just had an impulse reaction. But then it says he went outside the house and then came back later with the gun. Now that means you've had a lot of time to cool down, think about things, and now you're premeditating it. That's crazy. That just blows my freaking mind. You know, and of course, Frankie says, well, you know, Rondo is kind of a crazy guy, especially on the court. Maybe so, but damn.
That's next level, though. I mean, I understand, you know, I mean, obviously he's a super competitive player. Everyone knows that. But to draw a gun on, you know, wife, kids over, like you said, laundry. I mean, it makes me scoff just thinking about it, because I don't know how you even get to that point. Obviously, you know, we're still waiting on details, but I mean, not a good look for the veteran point guard.
And it's not even just that, you know, then we go on to, of course, the last one I was going to talk about, which was, and I know I'm going to say his name wrong, but the Toronto Maple Leafs, Martin, I guess that's, I'm probably saying it wrong, but Martin, the player for the Toronto Maple Leafs, 2 days after the Maple Leafs are exited the playoffs, he gets carjacked.
Yeah,
Like, come on. This is crazy, Logan. Is this where our world is? I mean, and I get it, man. You can say, well, Jay, these are, you know, they're isolated incidents and, you know, it's media driven or whatever. But damn, Logan, at the same time, damn.
I mean, Mitch Marner, like you said, the Maple Leaf star, I mean, big player, got carjacked in Toronto. I mean, this is all within the past week, pretty much.
Right.
In 7 days, we've brought up 3, and I mean, there's more out there. I saw earlier that Matt Harvey, and I believe a pitcher for the Brewers, I don't remember his name, got suspended for PED usage or drug use. So there's another thing that just happened. It's, I mean, geez, we could have a whole show just talking about sports topics, just off the court, honestly. But you know.
Oh, absolutely. And and the last thing I wanted to bring up before we really get into the show, and I just saw this. Now, you know what? We're gonna say this for next. We're gonna talk about Harvey and that 60-day drug distribution. Well, I don't want to talk about it right now. We're gonna save that because I really want to kind of delve a little bit more into that with some other things. So, hey, Thursday, be prepared to talk about, you know, how does Major League Baseball treat and how does it relate to football and basketball in terms of suspensions for not only drug use or performance enhancing drug use, but also the distribution of drugs within baseball. And are we really dealing with it the right way? That'll be a whole topic for Thursday. So I'm gonna put that on the back burner.
I'll put it in our
all right, folks.
We'll discuss Thursday.
We are going to get right into this. Hey, let's talk some playoffs. I got a lot of rabbit holes to chase down in these playoffs, Logan. But we're going to start off. Hey, we're going to start off with a couple of questions before we really get into it. Well, let's just take the first series, which let's take Dallas and Golden State Warriors. But before we get into that series, I really want to break down the Dallas and Phoenix series because I got a few questions about that for you. Let's see where we go with this. Luka's legacy. Clearly, Luka was the man, the myth, and the legend in every bit of Phoenix series. Not to mention the series before that with Utah. Where is his legacy? I mean, obviously his legacy's got to be pretty damn high. And at what point does Luka and his legacy start intertwining with being the greatest player in the NBA and being mentioned in the conversations with Giannis and so forth?
Well, he's definitely moving up those charts. We all know how he's done in the regular season since he came over a couple of seasons ago. And I mean, he's been really good. Hasn't garnered many MVP votes, but I feel that we're kind of getting into that range of this next season, or for sure the year after that, we're going to have Luka in probably top 3 NBA for MVP. So, I mean, let's not forget, he's only 23. I mean, he just turned 23 this year. So he's got plenty of time, but I think next year, that's when we're going to see him. I mean, there's a lot of really good young players in the league, but him and Trey obviously are going to be linked forever, and both of them are doing outstanding jobs. But I think probably next year we'll see Luka get better, get more MVP votes. I mean, as long as they can build a little bit more around him, then I mean, hey, it wouldn't shock me at all if we see him as an MVP next year.
Absolutely, and we talked about this conversation a little bit with Rob, and I know we talked about it a little bit with Frankie this morning. And according to Rob, and I do agree, I think I think it's probably going to take him getting a championship in order to really put his name, I guess, at the level of Giannis. I don't know what he really needs to do at this point.
Yeah, because he's not there with Giannis. He's not there with Jokic either, because Jokic has 2 MVPs. Let's not forget. But in terms of upside, I mean, he is probably leading the charge in terms of that kind of next crop, I think, Jay, of potential MVPs.
I mean, let's be honest. Even his stats, for the most part, suggest it. I mean, you can look at his stats. I mean, just this year alone, he was at 28, 9-8. And that's only maybe one. That's only one, maybe a few rebounds less, and maybe 1 or 2 points less than where Jokic and Giannis. I mean, we're not talking incredible differences here. And even for his career, he's averaging 26, 8, and 8. So, I mean, he's really not that far off in terms of his career numbers and his seasonal numbers. Yeah. I mean, I really just think the only damn difference, like you said, is I think the only difference is him getting MVP for the season, and probably him getting in or winning a championship. And I don't know how hard it's going to be for him to get MVP, because, like you said, a lot of times those MVP numbers are based off of not having help, which is kind of where Joker got it. Not that he doesn't have skill sets and things of that nature, but that really, I think, is what kind of propelled him over Embiid. Would you say?
Yeah, I think that if he's not above Embiid, he's probably right there with him. Right. I wouldn't say he's better than him. I wouldn't say he's not. I would say in the upper echelon of like the A+. But I definitely think he's an A player, right? And when I say A+, I mean guys who have won MVPs before. The LeBrons, the Giannis's, the Jokic, all those guys, and Embiid maybe throw in there, even though he hasn't won one. But he's right there, I think, and that's why I say I could definitely see him as an MVP the next 2 to 3 seasons. Damon Hughes said he would put Luka over Giannis and Joker only because he got the Mavs this far with nobody else on the Mavs. I don't know about that one yet, Dave. I don't know.
I got to be honest with you. Bullock is a really good player. He's a really good role player. Bullock knows his role, and he does play that role well. And I got to be honest with you, Brunson is really just now starting to become that number 2 guy. Behind Luka.
Also, let's not forget, too, Jay Brunson might be gone. He's a free agent. He could leave. He might get a bag somewhere else. So he might not even be there.
You're right.
You don't know. Also,
you're right. And so I do understand kind of where he's coming, where he says he has nobody, because the Mavericks team this year, or even not even so much this year, the Mavericks team this playoffs is really starting to become who they are. I mean, they're starting to become, into their roles, and So it is fair to say kind of that during the regular season, he may not have been, having all of the help that, the other higher powered teams got. It's
right,
hard
because,
to say.
I mean, let's be real, Jay. Who in the world thought the Mavs were a top 4 team this year? No one. No one outside of Dallas fans. But we had them out in 4 games to 2 at best, and maybe even 5-1 or 4-1. If I was a betting man, I could have swore that Phoenix was going to win the series. But, I mean, we all know what happened in Game 7, for God's sake. Yeah. That was a brutal massacre and definitively the worst loss in recent playoff history. Especially, Jay, from a number 1 seed, the team with the best record in the NBA in the regular season. I mean, good Lord. How?
No, I totally agree with you. And before I do this, because we're going to talk about this Suns team, trust me, I got a couple of questions I want to ask you about them as well.
I know you do.
Hey, before we get into the Suns, though, I do want to ask you. We talked about what it would take for him to really take this legacy to the next level and get into these next echelon, or this next tier of players, right? Because we always see on Facebook the tier of players. You got tier 1, tier 2, so forth. So we kind of know now we're. At least Luka is starting to bump up his level to get into that next tier. When it talks about his ceiling, what do you think? Is Luka's ceiling still, pretty wide open, or do you think he's kind of polished himself to where the best he's going to be?
I don't know. I think he can get better, Jay. I really do. Because like Sanders said, his defense isn't there yet. Anyone can learn defense, Jay. Everyone can learn how to play defense. I don't care who you are. That is something you can teach. I mean, shooting stroke, that's tougher. But right now, I would give, if just an overall MVP award for the playoffs, I would give it to Luka because he's put the team on his back. He's averaged 30-something points a night, and he looks like he can go out there, Jay, and hit any shot he wants to. I mean, I don't know if we've even said that he's had a bad game these playoffs. He hasn't had the opportunity to. He hasn't. He doesn't have that. He can't go out there and have a bad game.
Right.
So, and especially like you said, Game 7 where he took it personal against Devin Booker and company, he let out all those frustrations. And also, he said that Jay Kidd. Also, like you said, I want to give a shout out to Jason Kidd. I mean, because I know I was skeptical. You were, all of us weren't.
All of us were
super high. John, I'm gonna get to that in a second. I don't know about that, but I mean, we weren't super high on Kidd as a coach just because he hadn't had the best track record. But he's done a tremendous job with this team, especially in the playoffs. Forget the regular season, because he's made adjustments. They were down 2-0, and they came back and won in 7. I mean, that's not easy to do.
Right.
So he's taken a team that no one thought would make it this far. He's brought the intensity on defense, especially with a lot of the other role players we don't speak much about offensively. They're doing their jobs, and they're a top 4 team in the league. Say what you will. They are a top 4 team in the NBA this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Jason Kidd has already come out publicly and said he's going to work on Luka's defense. So I do expect next year to see, you know, a much different Luka in terms of.
You don't need to work on nothing offensively, though. Jesus, he's covered in that department.
Exactly. So I do expect to see a more defensive-minded type of Luka. I think Jason Kidd will uphold that. So it's going to be interesting to see. I do want to turn the attention, obviously, now to the most biggest elephant, in my opinion, in the room is these Phoenix Suns. Best record in the regular season, and yet got shellacked. You know what? I would have almost had more respect for the Phoenix Suns had they just sent out their designated person to go before the referees at midcourt and tell Luka to his face, the Suns forfeit. We're just going to save you the time and the effort and just go on ahead and have you rest up and get ready for Golden State. Because we're not going to come out here and, put ourselves at risk. And let's be honest, they embarrass themselves. I don't know what's more embarrassing, forfeiting Game 7 or what they did in that first half, only giving you 27 damn points. What's more embarrassing, honestly?
I think the most embarrassing part, Jay, is that Luka Doncic had the same amount of points himself as the Suns did as a team at halftime.
Yep.
I didn't watch the game after the second quarter. I had no reason to.
Yeah.
I turned on the hockey games. And it was the most brutal beatdown we have seen. I can't remember when. It's been a minute though. And good grief. I mean, Chris Paul, Jay, I know you have the stats. I'm not going to read them off. Chris Paul, absolutely horrible. He was rough. And in fact, Jay, I am not calling him CP3 anymore. His name is Christopher Emmanuel Paul. Or if I have to give him a nickname, Jay, it is now CP0. Because he put zero effort into that game. He ain't got a ring either. And the way he's playing, he ain't getting one. Devin Booker, absolute trash. That was a poor performance. Ayton didn't play the fourth quarter, so there's some controversy.
Absolutely.
I don't know why they didn't take those guys out sooner, Jay.
Absolutely.
I mean, what we saw with Embiid, he got that broke orbital bone and everything when they were up or down by 20 or whatever. I mean, they're down by 30, 40. Why leave them in there? But I will say I am going to give credit, though, Jay, to Monty Williams, coach of the year, rightfully so in the regular season. But he took it on the chin at the press conference. He didn't hide. He said that they weren't prepared as they should have been. Obviously, the shots weren't falling. They shot horrible. And he said, you just have nights like that. And unfortunately, it was in the worst timing possible. So I will give him credit. At least he didn't back down and make a bunch of excuses. So I will commend him for that. As for the Suns, though, Jay, what's next? Ayton, he could be gone. Booker, he ain't getting, Chris Paul ain't getting younger. He's under contract for a couple more seasons. Booker's got to go back in the lab and think of something because they attacked him. They attacked Chris Paul all night long. And, I mean, the Mavericks just had their way with them. They could do anything. I mean, the bench didn't do anything. It was just a rough night, a horrible game. And if you bought courtside seats, you spent a lot of money on this, I apologize dearly. I hope you got some bit of your money back. I wouldn't.
Hold on. I'm not going that direction. Here's the deal, in my opinion. Okay, I'm not going to give you numbers.
But he is not washed up.
I'm not going to give you season. I'm not giving you numbers on Paul or Booker because, let's be honest with you, there's not really a whole lot of numbers to give. But I wanted to address a couple of things before we go on. Everyone wants to go after Doc Rivers and Harden and Embiid and so forth, but and of course, everybody's now going after CP3. But nobody wants to blame Monty. I do blame Monty Williams, and Monty Williams himself blames Monty Williams at that present. Look, Monty Williams should have been making adjustments after the first quarter, and whatever. If they didn't work, he should have been making adjustments. He just did not make the adjustments necessary. And let's be honest, the big thing about Phoenix was, and I think it kind of showed us one thing they got to work on the offseason is their toughness, just like the 76ers. Got to work on their mental toughness. Well, so do the Suns because they got hit in the mouth, and mentally they couldn't do anything about it.
That's why I turned it off after halftime, Jay. They were already beat themselves,
right?
And I mean, you mentioned I don't know what adjustments you could make when your team's shooting that poor, and the Mavericks shot I think maybe 50%, maybe close to 50 from three.
Right.
I mean, there's nights like that for every team, no doubt. But I don't know. Would you have taken? I mean, I know they took out 8, and he only played I think under 20 minutes the whole game. But would you have maybe taken out Chris Paul or Booker in not for longer stretches, but for more frequent stretches, and maybe tried some more of your bench pieces just to get something going?
I think in the first quarter. I think in the first quarter you're trying something.
I don't know what the answer would even be because it was just so. They were down so much, the Mavericks couldn't miss. They were hitting every single shot. So right. I don't know. I don't even know what adjustments you could make. Just a horrible loss all around. But now, now here's probably one of the most looked upon, the most nerve-wracking off seasons in Phoenix Suns history because they were in the championship game last year, and this year they were supposed to be.
Yeah, they were. And I want to put this up real quick. Not this one, but he says he's talking about, the difference between Giannis and the Bucks and Luka and the Mavs in terms of Jason Kidd. What could he have done differently? Well, you got to understand the Jason Kidd that was with that Bucks team and the Jason Kidd that is with the Dallas Mavs is a lot more experienced head coach. Not that he didn't do great things with Giannis and the Bucks, because he did. But this is a different Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd is a lot more seasoned, and he's just, preparing differently. And Luka is a lot different than Giannis. So, it's you can't really compare. Those aren't apples to apples. That's almost like apples to oranges that you're trying to compare. But when it goes to CP3, here's the deal with CP3, man. You got to understand, he's getting older. I'm not trying to use his age as an excuse, but it's weird to me, Logan. Before 37 years of age, and I'm not saying that one day made a damn difference, but I think CP3 got tired is what I think. I think CP3 lost some of his energy and lost some of his endurance because before he hit 37, he was getting 20 points, whatever, he's contributing. But after 37, he barely could get 15 points or less the rest of the game. So something happened after 37 or after that game that really affected CP3, and I don't know what it is specifically. Nobody's going to know that but CP3 and the coach and probably his trainer, and I doubt any of those guys are really going to tell you. But I don't think he's washed up. I think he still has something left in the tank. Do I think you can play him as many minutes as probably they did last year? No. I think at some point you're going to have to do low management because he is, like I said, 38 or maybe, of course, going into 38. So I think at some point you have to. I mean, nobody can last that long. In terms of the Suns, what's the next steps? I don't think you blow the team up because they got you the best record in the regular season. They just got to work on the team itself and figure out what they could do to be better because they did the previous year get to the finals. And, this year, hey, they just did it. So you got to figure out what went wrong and how can you fix it. But I don't know if you blow it up, but I do. Blow it up. But at the same time, watch this. Booker's trying to get the 4-year, $211 million. I don't know. I give $211 million when a guy who scores the way he did in Game 7, even though he had a hell of a good season and he's a really damn good player. But at the same time, Okay, watch this. You're going to play devil's advocate. Do you have to give it to him because there's really nobody better than Booker out there on the market? Yeah, you're probably going to have to give it to him. But do I think that he deserves it based on the play that I've seen recently? No, I don't.
I think they're going to give it to him.
He's no different than Harden, who disappeared the last couple of times and couldn't give that up either. So I don't think he'd earn. I don't think he is deserving of it. But I think they're going to give it because there's nobody else out there that's better.
Yeah, I think they'll give it to him just because they don't want to lose him. Because if they lose him, then it's going to be rough next year. Because I get he had a rough playoff, but he is still a young player, Jay, and he's got a ton of upside. His offensive game is really good. But like I said, just hopefully this offseason he can get things rolling, and I think that they'll give him the money. Obviously, he's a fan favorite, so I don't think they let him walk. 8 on the other hand, I'm not sure, but like I said, that's another topic for another day.
I just want to call 8. I just feel like right now, Ayton plays like Charmin, and I think honestly, if I am the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to call up Akeem Olajuwon and be like, "Hey, I need you to talk to Ayton and tell him how to play down in the low post and not be so damn soft." That's just me. Suns need a whole new organization. No, Damon, they don't. They need a new owner. Is the reason why Suns win. No, that's not true, man. The owner is not out there playing. He has put good pieces.
The owner is the one who got this team together. I get it was a rough series and it was a rough game, but this man's talking about blowing up the whole organization from scratch. No.
Watch this. If I'm probably the Brooklyn Nets, maybe I say something like that because of the way that they assemble the team and the way they manage the team, or maybe if I question even Jenny Buss, because if you're going to question the Phoenix Suns, you got to go question Jenny Buss and that whole freaking circus over there in LA that's going on. Just saying, if you're going to question it, you got to go all the way.
Yep. All
right, folks. Hey, we're going to move on into the actual series of Dallas and Golden State. And I'm going to tell you, Logan, like I was telling them earlier, I'm really much an underdog on this one. At this point, I really want Dallas to go all the way at this point. I had Phoenix and Milwaukee in the finals. Neither one of those teams are there. So at this point, I'm just going to kind of go for the underdog or the Cinderella and see a good Cinderella team make it to the finals and then kind of see what happens. So what I want is Dallas to win. What I theoretically could see is Golden State winning because Golden State's experience and their toughness and they've been there before mentality. And I think the amount of playmakers that they have, on the bench and, things of that nature and the way they play together, I just think solidified that they're a little bit better prepared or going to be better prepared than Dallas. I'm not going to lay down like Phoenix did, I don't believe. But at the same time, I don't want to underestimate this Dallas team either because people were saying the same damn thing about Phoenix. So I really don't know how this is going to play out. But I'm going to say just based on experience alone, and I think Curry's going to have to really step up and be the man going forward for this team. I got Golden State, and I'm going to say it's going to be in 7 because I don't think the Mavericks are going to let this be an easy series.
I was talking with Freddie on Monday night after the game, and I predicted the Warriors in 6. I felt the Mavericks are going to put up a good fight, but I just think the experience edge of Steve Kerr, obviously, he's been in the game forever, great coach, won finals, coaching, all that stuff. Curry, Thompson, Draymond, the chemistry they have is top notch, and it's gonna be interesting to see, Jay, just the two aspects of these teams are both very team oriented. They try to assist a lot, they pass the ball a ton, so I think it's gonna be a fun series. But I'm giving it just to the Warriors with experience. Also, with Jordan Poole, he's kind of that X factor too of someone to watch out for. And I think the Mavericks are going to do their best to guard these guys, but it's just going to be tough. And then as for the Warriors, I think you just have to do what really every team's done is Luka's going to score his 30 or whatever. There's no point, right? But if you can stop everyone else on the team, the Dinwiddies who scored 30, the Brunson who has, on and off games, finish all those guys. If you can stuff them and make them not score as much, you'll win the ball game. You will.
Yeah.
And I understand that the Warriors haven't been shooting as good as people might think, but hey, we're getting deeper into the playoffs. You know, there's a certain switch that comes on in their brains where they got to get serious. And I mean, they're still a really good defensive team. I think people forget how good of a team they are defensively. So I will go with the Warriors in 6. Draymond will get under Luka's skins and get him in foul trouble. That's a good point. I mean, because we know Draymond will talk to any and everybody. I think
he will.
I know Luka ain't going to back down from either. I think he'll go and, I think Luka will fight back with him. I don't think he's going to just take it. So
sometimes I feel like in that respect, him and Pat Beverly come from the same mother just because they share that common trait of being able to get underneath your skin. Because Pat Beverly is damn near like the master at it. Let's just be honest. He's really good at that trash talking. But yeah, man. And then we switch and we go across the pond, and we look at, I really want to kind of just focus on the Miami-Boston series. Obviously that game is tonight. There is no Horford. There is no Smart. You don't have your defensive player. You don't have your spark plug in Horford. And so where does it go right now? All the polls I've seen because of those guys being out have Miami taking game 1. My thing is for the Celtics, Pride. That's Pride's team, and he says he's not worried about it. But at the same time, they didn't really say the severity of either one of those 2 injuries, so we don't know how many games they're going to miss. It just says they're out this game.
I think it was just COVID wellness.
So one of them is – are they both COVID? No, not Smart. I think Smart is actual legitimate injuries.
Let me see.
I think Horford – Horford, I believe, is COVID. So he could be – and so if he's out for COVID, how many games does he miss? 4 or 5? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, too. We have to take into account that these games are going to be spaced out more than the other ones. So that's
true. That's true.
That will benefit. Let me see. Also, Kyle Lowry is out for the night. I think he's been hurt also. Let me see. Hold on. Yes, Horford entered health and safety protocols, and the website I'm using, Jay, has now said you have to pay to read all this. So thanks a lot to this website. I'm not going to say who they are because I don't want to get a suit. So I will be back with that update in just a second.
I feel like Smart is going to be out more than just this game. I would not be surprised if he misses the first 2 games.
Smart, it's a right mid-foot sprain. That's what it is.
Right.
So, I mean, that's going to hurt him.
Especially if it's in the middle of your damn foot. How do you plant with that? So
on the bright side, though, Jay, Robert Williams said that he's had a couple of good days at practice, and he should be able to play good minutes in game 1. So you lost Horford, but you might be getting Williams back, which is a big key. So
let's put it this way. And comment in the comments and tell me what you think as well. Especially, I know John Suggs, you're pretty knowledgeable out there, as well as a couple others that don't include Damian. But I shouldn't say that, Damian. I love you, man. I'm just teasing you. But no, seriously, if Smart and Horford miss the first 2 games of the season due to injury or illness, where does that put the Celtics at the remainder of the series?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough. Like you said, even though Williams is coming back, you don't know how he's going to perform. He's had that knee sprain. So it's going to be tough. I mean, I feel like they're going to have to play hard. If you can, I'd say if you can split the series 1-1, that's a small victory.
That is a small. That's a big victory.
I wouldn't want to go down 2-0 against the Heat because I mean everyone mocks the Heat, but I mean they're a really good team. There's a reason they're the number 1 team in the East. So
no, but in all seriousness, if they are missing both those players, I think that Miami can take the first 2. I really do. Not to say that the Celtics can't rise above those injuries, but I think it's very, very likely or very difficult that they get those 2 victories, especially being in. I'm correct me if I'm wrong. That's in Miami, correct?
I believe game 1 is yes.
Yeah. So the first two games, I believe, are in Miami, or is it 1-1 at the very beginning?
I'm not too sure.
I always forget the.
Yeah, because
I think it's 2 games. I think it's 2-2 and then 1-1, something like that, or something crazy like that. 1-1-1. I want to say that's the format.
Yeah, that's it. They switched things up. John said they'll replace Smart with Pritchard. He came from Oregon, and he can hit a bunch of threes, and he's a fast player. Yeah, I mean, like,
but he ain't defense.
It's that next man up mentality, right? Who's gonna be that hero for the night? And it might be Pritchard, it might be Williams, it might be someone else.
So it's 2-2 exactly. So it's 2-2, 1-1-1. Okay, that makes sense. That's what I was kind of thinking as well. So here's a deal, Logan. I don't want to overlook the Celtics. I kind of overlooked them a little bit against the Milwaukee, and they kind of came back to bite me in the butt. So I'm not going to overlook these Celtics. What I will say is this: Miami's job, or at least the outlook for this series, got a hell of a lot brighter given these two injuries with the Celtics. Let's just put it that way. And let me ask you this: if you're Miami and you know that Horford's injured, and you know that Smart is injured and they're out game one, how much adrenaline and how much confidence and how much momentum does that give them, not only coming into tonight's game, but if they win tonight's game, what does that mean for their momentum and things of that nature going into the second game?
Yeah, you definitely want to get that first game underway. You want to get that first win because that'll just build your confidence and knowing that that Horford will, I would guess, be out for game two. Smart potentially, just depends on how because he's going to do anything in his power to play.
Oh, you better believe it.
Getting that first win is huge because, like you said, it's 2 at home. Then you go on the road, and it's going to be tough. We all know how it is in Boston. We all know how it is. So I think that if you get that game one win, if with your home crowd behind you and with the injuries and whatnot that Boston has, that would really help out.
I will say this before we get on to the next topic. I'm gonna leave it with this. Hey, Boston and Pride, if you're out there listening, I'm telling you, man, you're already down 2. You can't go in there shooting 30-some-odd%. You're gonna have to go in there shooting better part of 40+, if not 50. And that goes the same for Dallas. Dallas, don't be going into Golden State.
Yeah,
halfway playing. You're gonna have to go in there with every man playing their A game. Yep. If either one of those two teams want to come out and meet up in the finals, you're going to have to go out there and play. We'll see what happens. But I'm telling you, tonight's going to be really good, and it's going to be interesting to see. I'm not really so much concerned about tonight. I really want to kind of see what happens.
I want to see game 2. Game 2.
I'm curious to see what happens tomorrow. If those guys come back, or if one of those guys come back, or what the series is with that. I think that's what, for me, it gets really interesting.
Yeah, and then
John, what is
without Lowry once again? He's he's been hurt for a little bit, I believe.
Yeah, Lowry's got that thigh injury. He's got that hamstring injury is what he's been dealing with. And again, that's going to be a little problematic for the Heat as well because you don't know how well that thigh is going to be feeling coming into this game. I mean, it obviously has played at least a little bit of part of his shooting in the last couple of nights. So.
Right, because I mean he didn't play very, very well against the Sixers in that series. I mean he was playing hurt, so you're obviously not going to be as explosive or as good. And I mean Kyle O'Reilly is a nice point guard. He's a veteran. He's been around. He can do a lot of things for you. But that injury really hampered him. But let's move on, Jay. We got hockey now. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are going on.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, listen, you got the Penguins and the Rangers. It's interesting because two of the series actually went into overtime to get that Game 4 win. That's how you know you got good playoff hockey is when you got games going into overtime.
I think 4 or 5 Game 7s in the first round. So really
isn't that crazy?
Really nice to see. This was a nice change of pace after watching half of that Suns game.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I think any game outside of that Suns game would have been more competitive than that. So, yeah, I get that. And you look at the Penguins and Rangers. The Rangers took out the Penguins 4-3. Shots on goal were 45 for Penn, and the Rangers were 30. And, the giveaways and takeaways, I think, is where it really mattered the most. The takeaways were 1 and the giveaways were 1 for the Penguins. But the Rangers took away 6, gave up 4, and I think that's kind of what put it into overtime. Panarin scored on a power play in the overtime for the Rangers, and that really is the difference. And I want to say this: these dudes are going to play Carolina next, Logan. So you're going to have to take on the Rangers.
Yeah, you're going to be a good series. Like you said, it's the same format as the NBA, Jay. So it's 2-2, 1-1-1. So nice to see there the continuity with them in the NBA. And we're down to the final 6.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, but that's going to be a really good series, I think. Obviously, I'm going to go rock with the Hurricanes getting the win, because why not? But I think it's going to be a good series because, like John said, the Rangers got one of the best goalies out there. But the Canes got that offensive firepower, which you need in the playoffs.
Hey, you're not wrong saying Carolina's playing good.
Yeah,
so, yeah, man.
Or,
hey,
sorry, final 8. Sorry, John. Final 8. My bad. I missed the whole series. Whoops.
In my opinion, I think, and this is me, but I think the two best teams right now in the NHL are the Avalanche and the Hurricanes. And I just think both those guys are just phenomenal. And I would not be surprised if we see the Avalanche and Hurricane, for the Stanley Cup. And actually, that's kind of what I want is Carolina and at least it's my stars around.
Yeah.
I would like to see Carolina and Avalanche. I think that's going to be a hellified, pretty tough series, to be honest with you.
Yeah, another tough loss, Jay. I mean, Game 7 lost in overtime to Calgary, on the road too in Calgary. Tough loss, but hey, give it your best though.
Hey man, listen, they lost 2-3 in overtime. I'm not mad about it because we took them to overtime. It's not like we fought this team hard, and Calgary, in overtime they just got it right. I mean, it is what it is. The Flames put 67 shots on goal to the Stars 28. So that kind of tells you. I'm surprised it actually wasn't. I'm surprised it's only. I'm surprised we went into overtime, given the disparity of our shots on goal versus theirs. To be honest with you.
I mean that just speaks to the
our goalie,
and the amazing goalie play. So
honestly, the second player was I don't know. I'm gonna say this wrong. How do you say his last name for Dallas? I can't say that goalie's last name. Ottinger.
Hold on, let me see. Let me.
I know I'm saying it way wrong, but he was a second. The guy's name was
Ottinger, one of the two.
Okay, so we'll say Ottinger. I'm just gonna go with that because I know I'm saying it wrong anyway. You can look it up, but Ottinger got 64 saves for Dallas. 64. Yep. That's second player in NFL history to do that. So again, defensively, Dallas was amazing, and even offensively, we weren't bad. It's just they got one more, and they got it in overtime. See, it is what it is, man. But I'll tell you, man, it was a hell of a good game, bro.
Yeah, I mean, also too, Jay, he had the best saving percentage in the first round with about 95%. So,
right.
I mean, like I said, you lost the series, you took him 7, but it wasn't like y'all were getting beat 5-0 or whatever. So. Tough loss.
Exactly. I don't mind losing.
No,
when our team performs well and we're competitive, and we just it was just that one extra play, and it took. I don't mind that because to me that means that we're not a bad team. We were competitive. I just hate when they lay down.
As long as you can see effort being put in there by the team, that's all you need. John is giving his predictions. He's got the Avalanche, the Oilers, Florida, the Panthers, and the Hurricanes winning these upcoming series. And
it was a final 8, but that's okay. Listen, leave Logan alone. He's doing damn good.
Close enough. So, all right, let's keep moving, Jay. We got
man. Hey, look at this guy. So we got the Bruins and the Hurricanes. Again, this is Logan's team versus Frankie's team.
Yep.
And Frankie took the short side of it, 3-2. And the game was close, man. Again, shots on goal, 31 for Carolina, 29 for Boston. Takeaways and giveaways was 16 and 11 for Carolina, 7 and 18 for New York, and that's really what hurt New York was they gave away 18 and they only took 7. So that's a big deal. Again, 29 saves, 31 saves, and I think Domi and Ranta were basically your stars for Carolina. Ranta had 29 saves, and Domi got you 2 goals and 1 assist. So again, Carolina and Boston, good series, but Hurricanes were just better.
Yeah. Shout out Frankie. It was a tough series, really good. But, moving on. And, hey, good luck next season. At least you still got, the Yankees doing good. So there you go.
Hey, just so you know, shout out to James Bell. That was my first sergeant in the Army. Taught me a lot. Taught me about integrity, loyalty, all that crazy stuff. Great guy. And he's a Buffalo guy. He's from Buffalo, right. But he's out there in Kentucky now. Well, Tennessee, depending on he's in Clarksville. But he says Buffalo Sabres. James, I hate to tell you, man, but Buffalo wasn't in this one. But hey, I got you, brother. And hey, by the way, I got good news for you, and I'm predicting this early, and I hate to say because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I can see Buffalo making it to the Super Bowl next year, and I'm putting it out unscripted, preemptively. I want to get credit for this, but Buffalo is going to be in the Super Bowl next year. Mark my words. All right, moving on. John Suggs says we wanted that revenge against Boston from last year. Yeah, I guess you kind of would, Logan. Mean, you say that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you get knocked out the season prior, you got that bad taste in your mouth, right? You want to go and get that revenge, and that's what they did. They got their revenge, and they're moving on.
Hey, we kind of go over to the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Maple Leafs. Obviously, they lost out 2-1 to the Lightning. Lightning got a really good team. Obviously, they're the defending champs. And I would not be surprised, Logan. I said this before, and I'm still not surprised that I could see the Lightning getting a three-peat. And we'll see if that prediction holds. We'll see that. Like I said, I can also see Carolina. I mean, I would like to see Carolina and the Avalanche because I think it's going to be a hell of a good series. But honestly, hey, the Lightning, I still got them getting the three-peat, and we'll see if that prediction holds up. Vasilevsky got you 3 shots for the Lightning, and the Maple Leafs were unable to close out by losing the playoff series in 7. So, and then of course, the Maple Leafs have not won a series, Logan, since 2017. They lost out on 7 straight playoff series. So almost they're the bad news Bears at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it was you kind of hope for the Maple Leafs fans that you could right the ship and get things going, but it wasn't working for him, man. What can you say?
He says,
Habs in 5, Canes in 7, Panthers in 6, Canes in 6. And also, Dame said to Jay, you just cursed the Bills.
Hey, listen, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. But, Damien, if you believe in that kind of foolishness, crazy. Nathan, you said Canes in 7 and Canes in 6. You know, I was kind of combobulated about what he was saying there, too. I think he really meant another team. He must have been a typo on Nate's part. But I don't know. But I'm sure Nate will correct that and get back to us. We're going to move on. Before I move on to the next series, did you have anything you wanted to say about this series, Lightning and Maple Leafs, Logan?
No, like I say, just good work by Lightning, pulling it off. And like you said, hopefully going for that three-peat. And the Battle of Florida now with the Panthers.
Yes. There is definitely a good battle. Kings and Oilers. Oilers took out LA 2-0.
John, we're getting to it.
hey, he took out 2-0 over the Kings. McDavid got you a goal and assist, and Smith got you 29 saves. Hey, again, 29 shots on goal for the King, 41 shots on goal for the Oilers. I don't know how the Kings expect to win when you're 41-29. Yeah. So again, you're giving the Oilers, or excuse me, the Kings gave away the puck 12 times to 9. So again, the Oilers are going to face Calgary next. It should be interesting, but I think the Oilers beat Calgary. Logan.
Yeah, I think the Oilers. I think they're on a nice run. I mentioned when we were doing last time we did one of these is watch out for McDavid, and like you said, he had that nice series against the LA Kings. And I think it's going to be a good battle. I think this one could maybe go. I mean, like I said, the comments, all of them got, going 6, going 7. I'm gonna go with the Oilers in this one, Jay. I think that they can pull it off. I go Oilers in 6 or 7. I kind of want to see more games. I want all 4 of these series, Jay, to go game 7s again. That's always great. I
definitely agree with. I definitely agree with it. And so Nate did correct it. He said Flames in 6.
Fair.
So we'll see if Nate holds up.
And then, like I said, we got John, Panthers up 1-0 right now into the first. Actually have that game on in another tab right now. It's a close game. So 1-0 lead for the Panthers, the current number 1 seed in their division, in their bracket.
I'm telling you, man, it's going to be good as we go along. Obviously, as we get closer to the Stanley Cup, man, these series are going to become tighter and tighter. Man, it's going to be good. And I got to be honest with you, Logan. I think in this particular series or the playoffs, because my Dallas Stars are out, I'm going to hook up to you, man, and I'm going to root the Carolina Hurricane. And we'll see. At least one. Hey, look, if I can't be happy, I want to see you happy. And so we'll see if these Hurricanes can pull it out for us.
That's the only rabbit we got right. Yeah, that's the only thing we can. Everyone else is knocked out. So
now, again, I want everybody to understand this is not about who the better player is, because when you say player, you're talking about offense and defense. Right. We're just going to stick to the defensive side of the ball on this question. So Rodman versus Green, and we talked about that this morning a little bit with Rob and them, and I want to kind of get Logan's perspective on this. I really kind of wanted to get Gonzo's perspective on it as well, but Gonzo unfortunately is sick. Hopefully he'll be back Thursday with us. But we're talking about Rodman in his prime, the Worm in his prime versus Draymond in his prime. In terms of on the defensive side of the ball, who was the GOAT defensively? And I got to be honest with you, man, when you talk about a guy that just literally pesters you and knows you and can get under your skin and can do everything, there is under the sun, and just a magnet to the ball, literally a magnet to the ball. Nobody gets more rebounds than this guy. Nobody gets more steals than this guy. And I just don't see how Draymond can compete in his prime against a Worm in his prime.
It's this is a topic that's been kind of floating around the last couple of days, and I feel like you can go two ways with this, Jay. And like Frankie said, we had this topic this morning, great topic as well, because on the glass in the paint, obviously you're gonna go with Rodman, right? But in the perimeter, I think you got to go with Draymond, because Rodman would never really go out there. Because let's be honest, obviously the game's changed, and you can't really compare, but. Draymond, he'll go up against anyone. I get there's not that many big centers in the league. But if these two played a game, Jay, there would be 10 points. Hi, Mel.
Hey, Logan.
There'd be 10 points, Jay, 45 technicals, and a lot of cuss words being thrown around. But I'd still go with Rodman in a sense. Like you said, because just the rebounds, the tenacity. Don't get me wrong, Draymond has all that too. Also, you said never heard Rodman kick a guy in his nose. Well, to be fair, though, John, we don't know. He might have done that just from the camera before and haunted him. I'm sure he has before.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past Rodman to do that. This is the Worm, for crying out loud.
Yes, but obviously, yes, give it to Rodman. But I will say people need to put some more respect on Draymond, because he is a good player on offense. He's a great passer, a really good passer. And I feel like he needs some more love on defense. Even though the stats don't prove it, Jay, he can guard anyone 1 through 5. I don't know if Rodman could he guard a point guard and just speed and stuff alone. I don't know. I don't know, but Frankie said Rodman didn't kick. He grabbed. Jordan hated playing against Rodman when he was on the Pistons. Yeah, but I am going to go Rodman with this one. But like I said, Draymond, solid player.
Hey, Logan, I heard the Mavs are going to beat Golden State like they did
Phoenix.
Sorry. I know. My mind went blank because I got teacher brain.
And we'll see. I know Jay was probably telling you that. And
he was telling me that, but it's going to happen.
Mike tried to cover a little bit.
See, he's a Houston Rockets person, but I'm a Dallas Mavericks person.
I would have never guessed Jay is Houston Rockets fan. Or as Frankie likes to say, no, Jay, you said you flipped up one time and said our team when referencing the Mavericks, and now they won't get off you about it.
Man, listen, I take all kinds of smoke. It's all good. No. What she said was that the Dallas Mavericks were going to beat the Golden State Warriors like a red-headed stepchild in Annie Orphanage. I'm just saying, that's what she said.
That's translated by Jay, but yes, I said that.
I'm about to say that's a very loose translation.
But yeah, that I did say that, but Jay, that's the Jay translation.
Jay's a Bucks fan. Mel with the basketball prediction. John Suggs said, "Come on, admit it." He's got your mind bombulated, whatever that is.
Hey man, she does it to me. I can't help it, man. Damn.
Frankie, is there someone named Jerome in our comments?
That's right. Hey, listen, you didn't know this, man, but depending on what kind of food I eat, depends on what kind of name I am. So if I'm eating like some Southern greens or some soul food, I said, "Excuse me, Melanie, my name is not Jason. It's Jerome."
I'm gonna leave that one in the bank and not speak on that.
I should have put that on there. I should have put my name with. But then again, I did call Frankie. I gave Frankie the nickname when he said he was a linebacker in football. I said they called him Stay Puff.
And like we said, we already gave Pride a new nickname of Connecticut Pride last week.
Yeah, he's definitely Connecticut Pride.
He's got the braids now too. He's got the braids in his hair, so it's a new era for Pride.
God, you know what? And let me tell you something, John Suggs. Let me tell you something. My wife can make some good cornbread and good collard greens like that would slap you in the face, man. This woman can cook, bro. Oh, I took Mel to a Jamaican restaurant, and we had the Jamaican jerk chicken. I can't eat it, man. It's just too spicy. It kills me every time. But she'll slop it down like it's nobody's business, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, I like Jamaican food. It's just so damn spicy, man.
A little too spicy.
All right, folks.
Wait.
Oh, God, here we go. I give her a little bit of 5 minutes of fame.
Because I slop my food down. Because I slop my food down.
Listen, there was a time when she had both hands in a full circle around her food, and I didn't see the top of her eyebrows until it was over.
That's how you know it was good. That's how you know they cooked it with love.
Okay, so he can say I'm slopping it down, but I can't say I'm yamming.
Man, she's been hanging around. She got a friend of hers that's from Trinidad, and now she's trying to pick up this Trinidad terminology. And I'm like, Melanie, shut the hell up. You from the Northwoods of West Virginia. Ain't nobody in Northwoods, West Virginia saying the word yamming. But anyway.
She's culture jacking, Jay.
Hey, look, let's move on real quick to these Jays. Look, Logan, this is amazing to me, man. Look, the Dubin, and I know I'm saying this wrong. Hopefully I'm saying this right. Dubin Blue Jays pitchers, pluralized, it was 3 of them, that struck out 24 batters, and they gave up 2 hits on a 1-0 win over the Yankees single A squad, the Tampa Tarpons. And Nick Frazio struck out 8. Darian Santos struck out 10, and Braden Scott got you 6. The Major League record, if you want to know how you can compare it, the Major League record for strikeouts in the game is 20. And this single A team got you 24. Logan, what do you think about this? Because it, to me, is phenomenal. To get 24 strikeouts is crazy.
Oh, I need to say more, Jay. There's 27 outs in a baseball game. You got 24 strikeouts. I mean, there's only 3 people who didn't strike out.
3.
So congrats to those people. Frankie said, so who cares? They are in the minors. I think Frankie's just upset with the Yankees organization.
Yeah, he's a little butthurt because the word Yankees is in there.
I'm surprised you didn't throw something in there saying, "Oh, look at the future Yankees already striking out a ton."
You know what? I wasn't gonna. I gave Freddie the whole Stay Puff comment. I didn't want to go too far overboard.
You didn't want to go.
I didn't know what kind of smoke he was going to
show to defend himself fully, right? He said, "Talking about baseball, Jay. Did you ever go and look at that picture I told you about from Tennessee throwing 105?" I think we talked about it on the show before. You
know what? Hey, I tell you what, man. Hey, John Suggs.
We'll talk about it again.
His name, right? Ben Joyce.
Yeah, Ben Joyce. We'll talk about him again. I think we did a few weeks ago on.
Hey, Thursday, Ben Joyce in the comments that's gonna be one of our baseball topics. Thursday, Ben Joyce. It will be in there. John Suggs, don't be late for Thursday. We talk Ben Joyce. Nah, I don't care about the Yankees minors. They come and go. No, Frankie, they don't come and go. They get elevated to your squad. I'm just saying. Anyway, Frankie. I know Frankie's a little upset about that, but hey, again, I understand it's single A, but at the same time, that's still pretty damn impressive. And if they're pitching like this at single A, I can only imagine how long it's going to take these 3 pitchers to get to AAA and then into the majors. I don't think it's going to be long, so keep an eye out on those names because I think in the near future, we'll see them. And that's true, Frankie. They could get traded. I mean, honestly, they are
in single A. Everyone's expendable, honestly.
Hey, that's very true. I mean, honestly, you really have to work your way up out of single A. So I get his point of view on that.
And speaking of impressive,
yes, speaking of impressive,
I wish Chris was here, man. I wish he was here.
God, you know what? I know, man. It's so crazy.
I feel bad he's under the weather, but man, I wanted him on there for this topic.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, look at the screen. How do you throw a no-hitter and still lose?
I don't get it. I don't get it. You go the entire game, Logan. You go the entire game just kicking ass. And then you get to the 8th and you walk 3.
Oh my God. If this isn't
what the hell?
If this isn't the antithesis or whatever terminology you want to use for the Cincinnati Reds season, this is the game, Jay. If they lose 100 games or whatever this season, go back and look at this game and rejoice and think, man, they threw a no-hitter. But
exactly.
That is just the awful luck that they've had this season. But on the bright side, Jay, I just checked. They are up 2-1 currently, middle of the 7th against the Guardians. So maybe they can take us some anger on them and get the win tonight. But man, that is shout out to the Reds though. I know the pitching staff was happy for the most part, but
hey, look, here's the deal. There's certain things you can put on a player and certain things you can't put on a player. And when these pitchers are giving you a no-hitter, and then you get to the 8th, and let's say you walk 1, even if you walk 2, Logan, I think by the time I get to the second walk, you know what? I'm going as a manager. I'm going out there. I'm pulling them, and we're going to get somebody else in there because maybe this isn't the right. You know what I'm saying? At what point do we look at the managerial coaching of the game or decision making of the game and say, hey, maybe some of it's the players, but some of it can also be the coaching.
Yeah, it's I don't even know what to say. I don't even know. It's
yeah, it's hard too, though. I get it.
Shout out Hunter Green though. He's looking like a really good prospect so far this year. But man, the fact that he's only 22. Let's not forget he's super young.
Right.
But man, like I said, this is just the Reds season in a nutshell. John said Reds are complete trash. I said last year Tigers wouldn't win 40, but it winning 50 plus. But man, I don't think the Reds don't win 40. I don't think so either. And talking about the Tigers, I predicted them to have a really good a better season at least. I said I don't know if I picked them for wild card or maybe a wild card, but so far they are not playing like it. They just are not. Also, we have the draft lottery tonight. Apparently, if it's I don't know if we're going to get through with the show, but if not, we'll talk about that on Thursday about the lottery picks for the NBA draft. So,
and last thing I want to say is the Reds did make history nonetheless. And Gonzo, I know this wasn't necessarily the history you wanted to make, but you made history as a number 6 team to throw a no-hitter and still lose. You're number 6 now in that category.
Attaboy.
Poor Gonzo. Just can't get a break when you need one. Okay, Ohtani hits a 100th career home run for the Angels. Logan, very, 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 very important historical note, which could be put into Ohtani resume or on his plaque as he's enshrined to the Hall of Fame. Given that as long as his career keeps going in the trajectory that it's going, is number 1, he's one of 3 Japanese players to hit over 100. Obviously, Ichiro and Matsui were the other 2. But he's also the only other pitcher outside of Babe Ruth to hit for over 100 home runs and strike out 250 plus batters in Major League Baseball history. Only 2 pitchers have done that. Ohtani and Babe Ruth. Not bad company, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, super impressive. I was kind of shocked whenever he got this because he's only been in the league for a couple of seasons. Obviously, he was hurt for a little bit of time, but yeah, what he's doing is definitely transcending baseball. And Jay, who knows how long it's going to be before we get the next pitcher-hitter combo? It could be
if it happens like that. You know how hard that is to get that combo,
and for him to be as good as he is too. Like I said, we've talked about him. He's obviously a great hitter. He's a solid pitcher too. It's not like he's not top tier, but it's not he's very good. And once again, shout out to him getting number 100. And we'll see what they can do. Currently, right now, the Angels. Let me check their record real quick.
They're right even with the Astros. Yeah, depending on what they do tonight.
Yeah,
they're dead even with the Astros.
Yep, they are tied with you at the moment. So at least they are having some early season success, which is more than they can say in previous years. So maybe this is the season, Jay. Maybe this is the season that we finally get to see Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout in the playoffs, which I don't know how they haven't done it before. Hey,
no, exactly. And the thing about it is Ohtani still is a young guy.
Yeah,
and I really wonder how many more milestones does Ohtani have before he hangs it up. You got to imagine it's got to be quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how many he can get, but so far he is looking like everything and more Angels paid for.
Don't worry, John. That's already on Thursday's topic. So you got to come in for Thursday for the pitcher and Matt Harvey. So, yeah, man, Thursday's going to be a juicy episode as well, just based on those two subjects alone. But, yeah, man, when it comes to Ohtani, man, I don't wish bad on him, but I'm okay with if he loses every game by a run. I'm okay with that. Okay, guys, going back to work. Enjoy the rest of your night. Love you guys. Best crew at ASAP. We give 0 shits.
See you,
according to
Frankie.
Stay Puff.
And then Frankie said, JC on ASAP in the morning.
Yeah, man, I'll see you in the morning. You know that.
Bye,
hey,
Frankie.
listen, man. I think that no, we got one more. I apologize. Olive.
One more, sir.
Olave. Is it
Olave?
Okay, that's how you say it, Olave. So Olave is learning quick from Thomas. And what I mean by that is Olave has been spending some time with Michael Thomas, not only professionally, he was actually spending time with Thomas in his collegiate career. So Olave and Thomas, they knew each other before they were even drafted, to the point when Olave got drafted, Thomas was on the cell phone calling him at the draft saying, basically congratulating him, and he looks forward to working together and so forth. And, I tell you, man, if Olave has already been hanging out with Michael Thomas and hopefully learning route running and things of that nature to really improve his already good skill set, how much better is this going, or what is this going to mean for Jameis Winston? Hopefully Thomas, I'm assuming that Thomas is coming back this year and will be available game 1. If so, Logan, the bigger question of Olave learning quick is what is this going to mean for Jameis Winston if he gets Thomas, Olave, and Jarvis Landry, who we know is an LSU native and a New Orleans guy? What is this going to be? How does this? I mean, Jameis, you got to imagine that this is the best that Jameis will ever have, and this has got to be Jameis, if he can stay healthy, his truly breakout year.
Yeah, John put the question: is the Saints going to go with Winston, spending money on our players and such, and have been quiet on him? And we all heard the rumor Breeze is not coming. If Drew Brees comes back, then this is that no. Then they paid Winston too, right? They gave him a contract. I don't remember.
Winston's under contract.
Yeah, so obviously they're going to rock with him. They wanted a quarterback. They could have drafted one early in the draft, but they didn't go that route. They went with the left tackle. But I mean, we already talked about the defense. Probably gonna be one of the best defenses in the league. And their offense, at least their wide receiving room. And then if Kamara, how many games he'll play? So I don't know if he's gonna be suspended or not. And then Winston, who's he's a solid quarterback. I mean, like we said on I think Saturday, Jay. I think that the Saints could give the Bucs a run for their money, and if not take that NFC South crown, I think they could definitely be a wild card team. Right. I mean, they have a lot to look forward to, a lot of hype, a lot of young players, and I expect big things from this year. I expect them to do well and to do a lot better than this year because Chris Olave is a really good player.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, I think, in my opinion, if Winston stays healthy, this is going to be his proving year. It's got to be his proving year, not only to himself, but it's going to be a proven year to the team and to the coaching staff and the ownership of the New Orleans Saints. Is Winston our guy in the future? We give him all these weapons, and if he can't do anything with this and we can't get over the hump, then maybe it's time to relook at Winston. I just feel like this year coming up is a truly big year for Winston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a proving year for him. And, we'll see what we can do.
All right, folks, we have come to final thoughts. And I got some – I'm letting Logan go first because I got a couple of things I want to say real quick. And then we'll get the hell out of here and go get ready for this Heat game, which is going to be coming on in 20 minutes, folks. That's how good Unscripted is. We get you all the information. We get you out 20 minutes ahead of time for the game. Logan, final thoughts, brother.
How we do it. Yeah, final thoughts. Like I said, everyone, hope you have a nice show tonight. Enjoyed watching us. We appreciate all the comments. If you're not doing so, watch the Panthers and Lightning right now. Still tied 1-0. Second period just started. Watch the NBA playoffs tonight. Also, check out the draft lottery. That's going to be going on. We'll talk more about that on Thursday, about who's going to be the number 1 overall pick and who that team will be. Like I said, David said, I could see Olave winning Rookie of the Year. Bold prediction.
Wow, that is a bold prediction given the company.
If they throw to him enough, let's see. But yeah, tune in Thursday. We've already got a good bit of topics so far. I've got, of course, the NBA playoffs. Whoever the team is for the number 1 draft, we're going to talk about that. The suspensions of Matt Harvey and everyone else. What do the Suns do after this postseason? How they improve this offseason. And, of course, shout out John Suggs. We're going to be doing a player profile on the University of Tennessee's Ben Joyce.
Wow.
Jay.
I was actually you took my final thoughts right out my mouth. I was gonna kind of do a recap of the topics for Thursday too, but you know what? That's just how damn good we are here because Logan and me are connected cerebrally, at least for the show's time being. And he read my thoughts, and that's crazy because I hope he doesn't read anything else because I'm a pretty weird person. But anyway. Hey, man, thank you for tuning in. As always, John Suggs, Damian Hernandez, and Sander Rojo Sanchez.
Our boy.
We appreciate all the comments, all the love in between. And, again, man, look forward to tonight's games, man. It's going to be special. Until Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we are Unscripted. And we appreciate you guys, and we are out of here.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, then I'm in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so